Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then you might not know that I love Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. Always have, always will. I have some incredible dolls here. I've shared a lot of dolls on my channel. I did one of the ultimate unboxings of my two giant Volans that I love that live here. All kinds of things. So if you like Raggedy Ann and Ann, search that on my channel. In this video, I have two Mollies or Mollye's Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls that came in a doll haul a while back, but we've never really shared too much about them, mainly because I don't know a whole lot about them. So we're phoning a friend. We're bringing in our wonderful friend, Jonathan Green, who is from Jonathan Green and Company, and he knows a lot about KT Cruza, a lot about dolls in general, and Raggedy Ann. We've done programs with him over the years. He's been a great contributor to the virtual doll convention, and he is a very good friend, and we just adore him. He is on break this week, so he is able to help us with these dolls. Now, the dolls are already in the back with Linda, and we're going to bring Jonathan in to just give us a little insight and a little info on these dolls because they are exceptionally different. One of them is. And it's because she's so large. So I don't know a whole lot about Mollye's Raggedy Ann's. I do know that there was a lot of controversy around the time that she was producing the dolls. She didn't have the rights to be doing the dolls, and Johnny Gruelle sued her, and it caused a lot of stress, and she eventually had to stop making the dolls because she just basically copied the dolls and started marketing them around the time of Johnny Gruelle doing his dolls, which were insanely popular. So then hers got to be super popular, but she didn't have the right to do it. So there's a lot of drama with her dolls. But one of these dolls is huge. It's like, I think 27 or 28 inches tall, which for a Mollye's doll is pretty darn big. Now, I'm gonna ask Jonathan Green in my questions if you pronounce it Mollye's or Mollye's, because it's spelled Mollye-E's. There's a lot to learn, so much to learn. I am constantly learning every day. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. And we're gonna go in the back because Linda already has the dolls and she's just checking them over to see what she's gonna do with them. So before we go in the back, for your safety, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. I care about you and I want you to be able to leave and come back because I love when you come back. So we want you to stay safe and we want you to come back. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. It's for your safety and the safety of our performers. All right, let's go. All right, so we are in the back with Linda with our Mollye's. I'm just gonna say Molly's, but they're Mollye's Raggedy Ann's. And these are very special, Linda. I know we don't, do you know much about Raggedy Ann?
I do not, except from your presentation at, where was it? Kansas City.
Oh yeah, I did do a presentation. I've done several on Raggedy Ann. And
right,
it's a fun...
and then at Club.
Yeah, oh I did.
That's
what
so
I have over the years.
Yes.
And we have a lot of on our channel also. But we've done a lot of work with our wonderful Jonathan Green, who is very, so what just happened? What's in your hand? I'm sorry, let me finish about Jonathan Green, who is very knowledgeable. I got distracted because
I'm looking at all this. Okay, what am I gonna
Did her hair just fall out?
No, it was tucked in her dress.
Oh, it was tucked in her dress.
So it belongs to her. So we need to find out where it needs to go.
And then how it's also sewn back on.
I can figure that in. Is she supposed to have braids?
No, definitely not. So we need to take out the braids.
That will be our first step.
And then I do see a big bald spot back there, which is, I'm guessing, where the hair fell out.
Yeah, look at this right there. Okay, we can sit here and piece that in. Okay, yeah, that would make her look a lot better.
Yes. Okay. So that needs to be done on her. Now, I do want to photograph them without their clothes because their bodies are rare and important because of the size.
Oh, look at that.
Now, there's a couple things that I think that we can do to conserve.
Oh, isn't she cute?
Isn't she sweet?
She got a heart. What can we do?
Well, what I'm looking for are just little spots where maybe the stitching has come undone, where we can just do a quick mend. For instance, look at right here on Andy.
Yes, and I think Andy has another spot. Right there.
Right on his neck. So it just needs to be...
what happened to him?
Oh,
well, we could cover him out.
You can kind of
We'll spread that out.
spread it out a little bit.
A few other people we know have that problem.
It happens. It happens. So can you do me a quick measure on the large Anne? Let's just see where how large she is. It's definitely the largest one I've ever
26.
seen. 26. Okay, and Andy? About 21.
21
okay.
and a half.
Okay.
Do they go?
26 and 21. I really don't know. So we're gonna ask Jonathan Green and see what he has to say. This is probably a bit of a puzzle, isn't it, Linda?
It is, but I did it backwards, which is normal for me. I do.
We all do things backwards once in a while.
Yeah, well, I do it all the time.
They're gonna feel so much better once she gets her hair back in there.
Yeah.
And look at the writing. Look at that.
Yes.
The larger one doesn't have it, but this
No.
one, yeah.
But look at this. This is cool. To make her hair stand up on the top, they're loops.
Oh, I love a wonderful top knot. Exposition Company, which came right after Voland, and they only made dolls for about 9 months. They're incredibly rare dolls. I've never had one. I would love to have one. Had huge top knots on the top of their head.
Yeah, this one I took apart to see how they did it.
Just giving her a weave.
Basically what I did to your hair. Exactly.
Well, it's good thing it's no secret that I have it. Yeah. Okay, here's the first doll, and this is the larger Raggedy Ann, and she looks great. Let's turn her around and see how Linda did. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Linda, you did such a good job. She can't even hear me right now, but she'll see the video. Look how much better this looks. Yep, she just weaved it in. It looks amazing. You're so good in your little swing, but when you get bigger, we're gonna have to make you a little cage so you can't escape, huh? Make you a little play area for the doll shop. Now you were just smiling. Give everybody a smile. Yes! Yes! You're so good at smiling. We love you so much. It's hard to do doll stuff when you're our favorite doll just sitting right here. Yay! Yes. Yes. Okay, here's the Andy. He looks good too. Unfortunately, they have these splatters on their faces. That happened because they both have it. And there's the markings so that you can see and learn what those markings look like. There is some water staining, but otherwise, pretty cool. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for joining us here at our shop virtually. So these are the dolls that are in question. Now, Linda has just pressed the clothes, not done anything except mended a couple open seams and fixed the hair a little bit. This is the Raggedy Andy. And here is the large Raggedy Ann. Now she is missing the apron, so that's one thing. That's one thing, but other than that, she looks great. Now, should we replace the apron or should she go as is? So first of all, I want to know, is it pronounced Mollies or Mollye's? Or do people do either one? Because I've heard both. So that's a big question.
Hi, Rachel, and thank you for asking me to participate in this video. You know, Raggedy Ann and Andy hold a very, very, very special place in my heart. So I am always excited to answer questions about Raggedy Ann and Andy. How is the name pronounced? Well, I think most people just say Mollies. A few people will say Mollye S as if they're pronouncing the S in the possessive, but I think just Molly's is fine. And let's face it, Molly Goldman is not around to correct us, so really, who cares? We can call them anything we want. Should the doll have an apron? Well, for that, I think it's kind of best to look at a doll with an apron. If your doll were to have an apron, it would look something like this. Your doll is an early doll, and the early dolls have this kind of bib apron with a ruffle at the top. This is the apron that is shown in Molly Goldman's patent illustration. And if I had both hands free, there would have been air quotes around that, because I don't think Molly Goldman ever got the patent for Raggedy Ann. She was granted a patent for her Raggedy Andy, partially because Johnny Gruelle's patent illustration was non-existent. But while a patent illustration for Raggedy Ann appears in her advertisements, it's not registered with the patent office. So I don't think she ever got the patent for Raggedy Ann, but with all of that blabbing, the apron in that illustration is like this. So if your doll had one, it would look like this. This is, it is organdy, I guess, but it has been washed so many times, all of the sizing is completely gone. And in case you're interested, this is what the pantalettes would have looked like on the doll. Again, I think these were organdy that's just been washed incessantly. This doll is interesting because it's an early doll, and again, does not have the writing across the chest. It just has the printed heart. So I think in the early days, she was just producing the dolls. And then when the court cases started, she felt the need to assert her rights to Raggedy Ann and Andy, and she scrawled those 2 lines across the chest of the doll, which I'm sure made children really, really happy. This is from someone who cut the tags off of each and every toy and doll he ever owned. So yeah, I have a slight bias there, but anyway. And that's the other interesting thing about your doll, is that it seems to have a cloth heart that was appliqued later. Might be interested to snip a few stitches and see what's underneath there. But that's probably another indication that your doll is intended as store display, because if they figured it was never going to be undressed, why go through the added expense of putting a heart on it? So I think that these 30-inch dolls really were made exclusively as store display and not really intended for resale, except maybe in special promotions or a special occasion. I mean, just total speculation. And an aside, often with dolls like this, there is an agreement at the time of sale that the doll is not to be sold. So that's just something else to add. And of course, as I said, total speculation, but it's a fun little whatever. So the other thing that's interesting about your doll, which I guess you can see here on the legs, is that it does not have knee joints, nor does it have elbow joints. And this is typical of the early Mollye dolls. You can see it in the 18-inch dolls, you can see it in the early 20-inch dolls, and of course this is a structural problem because a child's going to attempt to bend the doll's knees, and then the fabric's going to burst, and then you're going to have a problem. But it's a particular problem with the 30-inch dolls, and that's another bonus point on your doll, is that so many of the times when I have seen these dolls, and I really shouldn't say so many because I think I've seen 3, maybe, that often there's a problem down there. I mean, of the 3, one of them was completely missing part of the lower leg. The fact that your doll is actually in such good condition is quite a miracle, and is another thing that makes that doll incredibly, incredibly special.
I want to know, do you know how many of these large ones were manufactured? I know with the large Volan dolls, we know approximately how many were manufactured, which wasn't very many. But with these larger ones, did they have record of that kind of thing?
How many dolls were made? Well, to be honest, I haven't a clue. But what we can do is we can go back and look at the Volan dolls, because we do know that the oversized / store display Volan dolls were made in increments of 40. They were made over several years, but basically they never made more than 40 dolls a year. So with that in mind, I can sort of say that less than 40, could be 20, could be 10. The dolls are exceedingly rare. I really can't emphasize that enough, that these dolls are rare, 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 and let me say once again, rare. So, you know, I don't know how many were made, but it was not many. And the other thing I can add is that after, I really hate to admit this, but going on 50 years of actively collecting Raggedy Ann and Andy, I have never seen or heard of a 30-inch Raggedy Andy by Molley Goldman. So we assume that those were just never produced. Again, the doll is rare, and generally I'm the type of person who feels that rare should only be used for a stake. So when I say something's rare, I mean it's rare.
So you refer to the larger one as a 30-inch doll, but she measures around 26. So is she 26 inches? Do we refer to her as a 30-inch doll? What's the story? Again, thank you so much. I have learned a tremendous amount from you. I'm always so grateful. You're the best.
So, I guess the other thing I can tell you about the doll is that we as collectors tend to come up with shortcuts to sort of describe things, so people all know what we're talking about. They're not actually always accurate. It's like the Georgine, particularly the later Georgine dolls, tend to be referred to as 15, 20, 25 inch, 30, when in fact it's like 15, 19, 22, and 32 inches. But, you know, it's what collectors do, just so everyone's sort of speaking the same language. The largest Molley doll is referred to as the 30-inch doll. And I think that's because it appeared in one of the Raggedy Ann books as being 30 inches. My memory is that it's somewhere in like the 28-inch range without the hair, which of course gets to be the other question. Do you sit here and measure the top knot as part of the height or not? So there's always a little variation depending on the height of the doll, and I mean, weirdly, really getting minor, but when they started putting the knee seams in the dolls actually shrunk slightly, because the fabric sort of going in at that point takes about a ½ inch or more off the height of the doll. So I would say, you know, you can say that it is a store display doll, and maybe, I don't know, just measure it the way it is. Just sort of know that people have a tendency to refer to it as the 30-inch doll. And I guess the other thing I can say is, as I said, in my 50 some odd years of collecting, I've seen 3 of them. So, and I didn't get to measure them all, so who knows?
Hey Jonathan, so you're not gonna actually see this until the video airs, but I was going through another bag of clothes that I had here, and look what I found. Andy's hat and the apron for Anne. So we're gonna iron this lightly and put it on her, and then she's gonna be all set. How cool is that? All right, so what we did is Linda, not we, soaked this in our Perk and Boost from Dolls Parts, from the Twin Pines, and it looks so much better. She put it up on the fan and it dried pretty quick. And she is just giving it a quick light iron, and we're gonna put it on the Anne, and she's gonna just look amazing. I'm just gonna shimmy on back over here because we didn't do anything to the hat, but Linda ironed it, which again, it looks brand new. It's amazing what a little ironing can do to something to make it feel so much better. And he just looks great. So these dolls are gonna look just so fabulous when they're ready. It's very exciting. This is so exciting. If this is exciting to you, leave me a comment, because this is exciting. I'm having a lot of fun with these dolls and making this video for you. Well, that was so fun. Thank you so much, Jonathan Green. It is always such a pleasure to learn from you. We appreciate it. Jonathan Green and Company. You can find him on Facebook and on his website, and he has a KT Cruza club, which is so much fun. I am in the club. I'll have links to all of Jonathan's things in the description of this video. These wonderful dolls are going to go on our eBay auctions, so if you're in the mood to buy them or bid on them, please do. Tell your friends, tell your raggedy friends, and we know they're gonna go to amazing homes, because that's what happens to all of our dolls that we sell. They go to amazing homes to people that love them. So thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you have a happy and wonderful raggedy day. Okay, I promise this is the last clip, but I just put the Raggedy Anns on my mom's big stiff reindeer, and how cute is this? So they look adorable. They look like they're hitching a ride with Rudolph, and this is the cutest thing. And while I'm back here, I'm just gonna go ahead and pan back to my crowning glory, Raggedy Ann and Andy. These are exceptionally large Volans. These are amazing, amazing dolls. I've done lots of videos and shown them before, but they are huge Volans, and they are just my absolute favorite. And of course, I always have a picture of my mom looking on. And then if we look right back there in the back, this is my mom's big Andy, big Voland Andy. So we have an oversized Andy, and then we have the exceptionally oversized Ann and Andy pair right here that live in our year-round Christmas village back here. And then this is a cute little Voland. He's an early wonderful Voland Raggedy Andy as well. This right here is a letter from Meals on Wheels. If you've been with me for a while, we did an amazing fundraiser back in December of 2020 after my mom passed away, and so many of you that are watching right now helped us raise $25,000 for Meals on Wheels, for a shelter that's in Colorado, and for the Children's Hospital. So that's what that is. If you ever see that, that's what that is. Okay, I had so much fun with this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and I hope you had as much fun as we did. We'll see you very soon. Bye.